Hello, hello, hello. This is the Bennett Show and episode 1. Who am I? Kind of narcissistic to name a whole show after me, but what do you know? It's my show. Uh, I'm not going to be focusing on just me, but for this episode, it is the pilot, I guess. So that's what we're going to be doing. Who am I? Why am I making the show? But so let's get into it. So I'm going to just discuss becoming a creator and being the best you could be, I guess. Uh, in my instance, I want to be a filmmaker, right? Would I consider myself a filmmaker? Yes, I've made 3 shorts, pretty great. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I live in Palo Alto. I'm 16 years old, and my favorite movies of all time would be, I don't know, because we'll get into it. I've sent a few questions from my friends, or my friends sent me a few questions, and I'm going to answer them. Due to them being on the show sometime soon, I guess. I'm not going to reveal who they are yet because some of them I tweaked out a few of the names or a few of the questions just so that like they sound better. No offense to my homies, but so yeah, I want to spread joy and creativity through this medium of podcasting, and I love podcasting. It's so fun, and I think it really just like helps you understand how to speak well or communicate better with other people. Well, today's the first episode, so I'm not going to have anyone on, but whatever. So let's get into it. So my first question is, who is my biggest role model or biggest inspiration, and how have they affected my life and outlook towards things? So I didn't think about any of these questions beforehand. I'm just answering them now. So, my biggest inspiration. So I'd say my dad, because he's raised me and my other siblings. Single father. My mom sadly passed away of cancer a few years back, but he's raised us all, and he's very hardworking, trying to build his own company from the ground up, and I think that's really amazing, and it's very inspirational towards me. Though being a filmmaker is very different, but is it? Like, an entrepreneur and filmmaker are trying to get their ideas across and build this whole world. And yeah, okay, so my dad. What do you think is the best way to achieve happiness? And how do I deal with stress? Oh, this is so great. This is a fantastic question. Um, Happiness is doing what you love and not even getting paid for it, but just like doing what you love every single day. And like, I think happiness is a bit overrated by just saying like, are you happy? You're going to be like, I don't know. Like, am I happy? And then you start overthinking everything. If you overthink that you're happy and you think about, oh, am I happy right now? Am I happy? You're never going to be fully happy. It's going to be this goal that you're never going to reach. And like, I just think that the main thing is just doing what you love and focusing on that. And then don't listen to others that are trying to put you away from that goal. You know, if you know this is good for you, then you do it. Well, there could be some stuff where you're like a drug addict or doing other stupid stuff that are endangering others, but I'm talking about just a job or a career choice where, hey, oh, I'm going to quit school to become a filmmaker. I'm not going to do that cuz I would love to just gain more knowledge in school. I feel like that would be best for me. But for some people, it's perfect. It works out for them. The school system doesn't work for them, and they need to quit school. Maybe I'm getting on a tangent, but that's going to be a lot of this show. Um, I'm already pretty good at this. Not really. Whatever. What inspired me to create Loop? So there's this thing that I'm trying to create like a loop, like as you've seen from the intro. It was kind of like a Joe Rogan-esque intro, but I didn't even take it from there. I just thought like I did it on my vinyl and recorded it, put down the black and then the black shadows, and then put up the saturation, I believe, and it made this like cool intro. And then like I got these drums off Free Sound, but that's just the intro. So I'm trying to build up like this like cool thing. I don't want to like announce anything because I think announcements are kind of stupid if you haven't done them yet. But the whole thing is about like just like spreading creativity like this podcast and giving people a light where they wouldn't have that in general. So as you'll see in this podcast or in more episodes, I'm going to be having people on that are trying to build their brand or build their music career or film career or everything. I don't know. It's going to be random. I already have like 10 people up in the roster. I'm excited for that. But it's practically just like shedding light on people that are doing great things and stuff I enjoy. So Loop Productions is gonna be like a little filmmaking thing, like production company that I want to make, and it's just so cool. Like, why not? We live in this world where you can literally do anything now with resources. Like with a computer, you can literally do anything. So it's pretty awesome. What is my favorite movie of all time? Finally, getting to that question. I don't have one. There's too many freaking films that are fantastic that I can't name one because film is an art form and it's all subjective. Even in my brain, it's sorry if that hurt someone's ears. Even in my brain, it's subjective. Like I argue with myself what my favorite movie is. I have favorite films and I have like 50 of them. So yeah. What is life to me? What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life to me is like death. So that might sound a little like depressing, but it's not. It's making the most out of your life because you're not gonna have a day where you only get so much time to live the life you want to live. So why not? And don't look at me as like, oh, this guy's so cool, like he knows everything. I'm a teenager. I still struggle with shit all the time. Sometimes I have really lazy days. Like this took me like 2 weeks to muster up the courage to be like, okay, I'm making the podcast. This is the first episode. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. But now I'm just thinking, you can do anything. It's just your motivation. Even if your motivation lacks, shut that shit down and keep pushing. Because if you know you want to do something, like, and your brain is just like, don't do it, because you're like anxious, or because I struggle with that stuff. Like, just shut that shit down. Like, it's so hard to, but when you get out of the mold, you're so happy to get out of it, you know? Okay. What initially drew me towards filmmaking, and did I immediately have great love for it, or did it grow over time to what it is now? So ever since I was little, I loved just like art. Like I love music. Can't make it for shiz, but I love it. I love drawing. Not the best drawer. Even film. Like I wouldn't consider myself like a good filmmaker because like it's subjective. But I just love making movies. Even the process of just like editing, it's arduous, right? Like having all these clips and thinking, oh, I gotta arrange it in a certain order to make it make sense. But it's still so cool to me that like you can have every art form into one thing, moving pictures, sound, story, all this stuff, and just like make something out of it. And it doesn't have to be a blockbuster or anything. Like in my opinion, I'm not a huge, like I do love some blockbusters, right? But I'm not like, that's not why I'm doing it to get money. I'm doing it because I need to tell stories. That's my way of life. Like that's how I get by telling the stories I want to tell. And maybe the stories are totally not from like my life, but they're like taken from inspiration in my brain and creativity. So yeah, did I have great love for it? No. Or I loved watching movies, but I didn't really understand like how it worked. When I was little, I was like, I just want to go to USC and become Steven Spielberg. And then now I'm just like, that's not how stuff works. Like there's different aspects of filmmaking than just making E.T. You know, like I love E.T. of course, but there's such a big world out there, and like there's so many independent films that are amazing that no one sees, that are like that cost like $4,000 to make. And like I want to make one of those movies. That'd be so cool. Or make a big movie. Like there's so much you can do in this medium. It's so freaking hard to, but like if you just keep at it, like me, like I could tell that I could become something great if I just keep pushing and becoming the best I can be. All right. And it did grow over time by just like watching it. And my mom was always like, you're really into these movies. And she would like tell her friends that. And I was like, wait, maybe I am. And then I noticed like when I would play with Legos, or I would film myself pretending to be Indiana Jones when I was little, like I was like, this is so fun. And so I'm me now. What? How did moving from New York to California, so 7th grade I moved to New York, California, but how did it change my attitude towards life, and what were some of the biggest differences? So the people, definitely, in California, they're very interesting. It's not like I dislike people here, or I don't I don't like people in New York. It's just very different, very cliquey, and that's not always terrible. It's sometimes annoying, but then you find your own clique kind of, and then you're just like, whoa, these people are super chill, and I love spending time with these people. And it took me a while to find my own. Like this year is the first time I had one that's like consistent, but I've always had my homies, Drew and Sam, always there for me since day one. Actually, Drew, became friends with Drew in 8th grade, but whatever. But yeah, like it's better to have like close friends than to have just a group of people that you like. I love all my homies now. Like I have a skate chat where we're always skateboarding and hanging out. It's awesome. But I'm not like skater boy, like I don't want to, it's not aesthetic, that I don't like how the media's like portrayed that, but it's still like fun, like to just be me and just hang. Like it changed my attitude, California, to be more chill. Because when I was in New York, I went to a private school, and like like I loved the private school. I love that school, but it kind of made me have this ego that I'm like so cool that I get to do all this stuff and I'm like better than other people. Then I realized like I'm no better than anyone else. No one in the world is better than me. Like we're all equal, and it's kind of stupid how people like would build themselves up to being the greatest people of all time just because of your successes. Like your successes don't define who you are, you know? And maybe that's what changed me, just my mindset towards stuff. And like the biggest difference is got to be just the weather as well. I love it. It's sunny outside. It's February. Like what the heck? 2021, man. Awesome. The last few years have been pretty tough, but I've had a reasonable time, pretty fun time. Um, so what is it like to have 4 siblings with just my dad? It's pretty chaotic in a good way. The house is sometimes a mess because we're all just like, I'll clean it up later, or there's a lot of screaming matches sometimes, but it's family, it's normal. You're gonna have fights, and like, we're very connected. We're very close. I've talked to some of my friends, and they're not close with any of their siblings, and I find that surprising. Like, I'm like, how? How the heck are you guys not close at all? And it's just because they haven't really gone through something together that, like, would bring them together, And that, like, losing, like, my mom definitely, like, brought us closer together, especially me and my older brother. Me and Basil, like, we became really close over the past few years just because, like, of circumstances, and it was really like it's a tough time, but having that family with you really just helps you, yeah. And my dad's been a super big help just raising us and taking care of us, getting like doing all this stuff. It's amazing. Like we call him our Uber driver because he's always taking my sister's places around. Like he always picks them up at university, or like that's a famous spot here in Palo Alto. Like just these random areas, and he's like, shoot, it's 9 o'clock. Just got a call from my sister. I have to pick her up. Or from your sister, Bennett. And I'm like, Dad, why are you doing this? She's like, I got to, I love him. Awesome. This one cracked me up because I read this one before I did this, and I was just like, this is so like dumb. But you seem not to be scared in any social situation. Is that true? No, that's just not true at all. I'm definitely just like I don't know what to like say sometimes, and sometimes I'm scared. But then you gotta just think, whoa, these are humans. These are human beings. Like you're a human too. What's so different about you than that person? And that's why I like get to know the person better, and I like to learn more. And that feeling of just like, oh, I'm meeting this person for the first time scares me, but it also entices me. I'm like, why do I feel this way? Let's get into that. Let's understand why I'm feeling this. So no, I'm definitely scared of social interactions, but that doesn't stop me from interacting with people. Like you just gotta push through it, face your fears. And I've definitely sometimes said like, oh, I don't want to do this because I'm not feeling it right now. And then I'm like, you got to. And I'm like, all right. Okay. So I do it. So yeah, then that's been all the questions. And now I just want to say like, just discuss stuff. I don't know. Or like my plans for this podcast. I want there to be like love and stuff for people, because we live in a time with so much discourse and division, where like politics get in the way, or our opinions, well, mostly politic opinions, but just like opinions in general get in the way, or like other stuff. And I think like I want to have conversations with people I love, or people I want to get to know better on this, and like mold friendships or relationships with people. And I think that's why I made this. And also like giving, like showing what people got, like their like creations. Say like a producer is producing music, I'm gonna be like, check this guy out on Spotify or SoundCloud. And maybe it's not gonna get the like biggest following, but for me, knowing that I'm like helping someone out is really cool. I find that really fun. So yeah, this has been first episode of the Bennett Show. Love to make it, create, care, or wait, no, create, craft, and caring. That's the three C's right there. Gotta do all three of those, and you'll live a balanced life, I guess. I don't know. I'm a teenager, so I don't know all this stuff, but this is awesome. All right, peace. Love y'all. Great episode.